What's going on YouTube and Neverwinter community? It's Frank back at it again. This video I decided to change it up. We're going to be talking about 10 things I want to see in 2018 from Neverwinter, Cryptic Studios, Art Games, whatever you have you. Couple short announcements before we get into the video. As you see here is my previous cleric video. I do have videos in the works, one being cleric video build, one being my great weapon fighter video, and one being a game review, because last time I did a game review I had 60 days logged into the game. It's fairly new per se, and now I have about 100, so I figured I'd recap how I feel about the game now that I've returned. So keep an eye out for those. If you guys want to see them, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on. Once I get my primal gear and not look like such a scrub, I will do a great weapon fighter build video. And then once I get more information about a cleric, DO build, ACDC build, I will push out the third installment of This is a Cleric's Life video. For those who haven't seen the other two, I'll link them in the description. It was the progress on getting fresh 70 cleric and now leveling them up slowly, because most of the builds you come across, whether it be YouTube, Reddit, forums, they're telling you what they have at endgame, what you need to strive for. They don't tell you what you should get when you're starting out, what you should strive for, working towards endgame. So that was a whole progress between the 1 and 2, was updating enchantments, updating, stats, updating this and that. So I will link those in the description. I'll have it playing in the background as you see here. That is obviously, it's outdated because it still says 2700 gear score. After everything's converted, I'm almost 11.5. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. If you guys have any questions or you guys need any assistance on anything in game, let me know. So the first thing we're going to talk about is double AD. One, I would love to see double AD come out in 2018. It's been quite some time. Myself, I have 8,300 trade bars, 3 repositories filled with purple items, 12 characters filled with purple items, this, that, and the other, and I'm ready for double AD. I have 8 more character slots. I'm going to make one here in the near future for inventory because I'm running out. So with that being said, I would love to see double AD with the enchantments coming up. The end game's getting pushed further and further now for me. I would love to see double AD. Double AD, I probably will net around 15 to 20 mil at least. And that will go a long way towards getting my enchantments up and getting my character where it needs to be. Second is better events. The Call to Arms, the Halloween event, they're kind of lackluster. Yeah, it's okay for transmods and stuff like that. But I would love to see different rewards. I would love to see equipment that you can get from it using into endgame, or different types of events, new events, because they do the same events every year. The masquerade, the summer event, the winter event, the tabletop game where you play as actual D&D, things like that. Yeah, I like them. Call to Arms events are always the same. You always get the same dusty rewards. I want to see something different. Put some time, put some effort into releasing different mini games. The third thing, since we're talking about content, more end-game content. Right now, it seems like if you're not running Tomb of the Nine Gods, you shouldn't be playing a game. And it's discouraging for some of the players because they're not getting in the groups. They can't find things. They can't find guilds that want to accept them because they're underdeveloped and no one's really helping them out. So, yeah, more content for endgame. Make things valuable. Release, epic trial or epic versions of CN or Pirate's Stronghold, things like that. Get like nice transmods that everyone's searching for. Make the items worth grinding out for, because really outside of Tomb, there's nothing really grindable. Some people are doing the Haiti one still in FBI because the mains are selling from 2 to 300k. Far touches are dropping below 500k, which is understandable. It's just the player base. But I would love to see more in-game content. Have a different way of getting in-game gear instead of just running Tomb of the Nine. I'm not saying pay to win because that's not the answer either, but more in-game content, more transmods from the previous ones, like they did with the Spinneret, Jarl's Gaze, or a few other ones, the helmet from Malabogs, things like that. But really, no one uses the Spinneret anymore, or the Malabog's helmet. But you understand what I'm saying. Have specific items generated in those dungeons that will help you in the game. The fourth thing we're going to talk about is cross-platform. I know it's not just Xbox, but it's PS4. No one really wants to collaborate with any of them. They're afraid they're going to lose fan base, which at the end of the day, players want to play with whoever they want to play with, whether it be Xbox, PS4, PC. For me, it all needs to come together eventually. Put the egos aside and make cross-platform games. That way we can play with people who have PS4s, because these consoles are getting more and more expensive every year. $400 or $500 for a console is a lot of money, especially if you have an Xbox and you want to go to PS4 because your friends are playing Neverwinter on PS4 and you want to play with them, but you really don't want to spend the $400 or $500 on a PS4. It's too much. It's too much for people who are struggling as it is, and they just want to have fun. They're playing a free game, So I would love to see cross-platform. Still have the preview shard or preview server on PC. That way you can preview the content, but everything will get released at once. So the new mod 13 comes out, and it's released for PS4, Xbox, and PC all on the same date. That way the dungeons aren't being exploited on PC and then or glitched have you, because Tomb of the Nine's glitched and they're not doing any changes to it, and they're bringing it in the console, and we're experiencing the same thing that PC was dealing with 2 months ago. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the dungeon Tomb of the Nine Gods, if you die at the end of the last boss, it glitches the chest for you, and there's no way to go about getting the chest. So you spend 20 to 30 minutes on a good run getting through the dungeon, completing it, all due because of a glitch. You can't get the seals, because that's what people are doing it for. They're doing it for the seals to get the primal, and they're doing it for ultimate enchantment stones. So yeah, have everything released at once. That way everyone can get a feel for it. Still have the preview server on the PC, so you can get player feedback and make adjustments from there. Also, the next thing we're going to talk about is egos. There's a lot of big egos in the game, and it's kind of discouraging. Again, without new players, without people sticking around, the game's going to fail. Obviously, no one wants to see Neverwinter fail, or Arc Games fail. But with the people who are the top tier, they're catching a bad rep because they don't want to help people who are undeveloped. They don't want to run them through. They have their set group they run with, and if they're not running with them, they're not running with anyone, which they've done a little bit with solo queuing. That way you're introducing more people to the game. You're not playing with the same people to get AD, but a lot of people aren't even messing with that. A lot of in-game people aren't even pissing with it, because they're just running their groups in Tomb, and that's it. The salvage stuff that you get in there, 2 or 3 dungeons, and you'll have your 32 AD, and that is discouraging people from playing the game, because there's no one helping them. The gods out there are all wishy-washy and things like that, and I don't know why it is the way it is with the people that are top tier. But I would love to see a different change of pace, a different scene of people, new players getting in the dungeons who probably aren't well equipped but can get carried. Because at the end of the day, if you're not running Tomb, you're not doing what is best for your character, especially towards endgame. What's next here? New tiers for VIP. Most of the series players at Neverwinter are maxed out level 12 on the VIP. You can't get anything else, and to me, it will make people spend more money, but get incentives as well. So, new tiers. One could be spawn a seal merchant, whether it be Seals of the Brave or the Adventures or whatever seal merchant you need. You can spawn them right there, because it is very annoying when you're running and grinding dungeons and one player has to go exchange seals for equipment. Go clear to the Enclave, and it just, it's not too big of a hassle, but it's something that if you can spawn banks and signposts and, the profession vendor, which is pretty much useless unless you're selling items and things like that, why not have a 13th and a 14th tier maybe introduce a new salvageable limit, 40k? That is, that's not a lot daily, but if you're playing it, 18 to 20 days and you're getting 8,000 more per day, is 2 plus 2 is 4 minus 1, it's 3, quick math, 160k a month that you're capping just by increasing the salvage limit from 32 to 40k. It's another bonus for people who want to, achieve endgame. So increasing the cap with the new tiers would be a great way. Another thing to help players out is lessen the auction house percent. Auction house takes 10% of everything you sell. Plus, if you're not high in VIP, you have to pay a posting fee. So you're not making as much money as you would if, you're ranked 12 and have no posting fees. That would be a great way to keep AD on your character and to better the game without doing much, and increasing revenue for Arc Games because people are going to be buying VIP. Because if that was the case, I would go out and buy 2 months right now just to have rank 14 tier VIP. It's a great way. They should really think about increasing the limit. Not even actually increasing the salvageable, daily salvageable items or the daily rough AD, but try to incorporate something that's benefiting the endgame players but not hurting the smaller players that don't invest as much time and effort into VIP as you probably should. Next thing I want to talk about is the customization of the companions and mounts. When they released the Nox Adventure Pack, they were giving out like owlbears, and some were purple and some were pink and some were this color and that color. I think they need to keep that trend, because nobody wants to see tinsel discs that are all the same color, or tinsel discs that do the same emotes, or cell swords that all look the same because they only have 3 skins and you're picking the last skin because it's the last skin. Another thing, we were talking about the tiger that's coming out in mod 13 and how it has 2 rings and a neck for the equipment. Why not make that visible on the companion? Make the equipment that you're putting on him visible on the companion. It's not going to take much. Dye kits, dyeing the clothes or dyeing the skins that the companions are getting, or changing the color of your mount. It's nothing too serious, but being different than the next person. It's what the game's about. Diversity is big, and that's what I want to see. I want to see customization for your companion, not what equipment it's having, but visual customization for your companion and for your mount, because I'm sick of seeing the same 12 mounts running around everywhere in the Enclave, Neverwinter, in game. I'm sick of it. So that's the first page. We're going to go ahead and we're going to chop this up, and we're going to go ahead and fucking chew on it, because we're in here and I'm dry, and we are at the closing 3 sections of this topic here, and we're going to get right into it. The 7th is going to be new classes and race types. It's been quite some time. I know the Metallic Dragonborn Ancestry, blase blah. They need to come out with something else. Maybe monks or druids, or an undead race, or a serpent race, or a goblin race. Something to get players. Again, it's about individuality. So every great weapon fighter is pretty much a cookie cutter with race, and if you're not a certain race in the character, no one wants to play with you. Or if you're not, a hunter ranger or a great weapon fighter, no one wants to do dungeons with you, because, well, what's the point? They need class balancing in different races and different classes for people to choose. Class balancing is pretty much bigger than that aspect, because with the nerfs coming to the Trickster Rogue and the Scourge Warlock, even though the Scourge Warlock is getting a buff in mod 13, class balancing is a big part of Neverwinter, and it needs to be addressed sometime in the near future. I know it's not going to happen overnight. A lot of these, nerfing and buffing of characters takes time. It takes time for the coding. It takes time to see what's working and what's not working. But I would love to see new races, new like grimy races too, like orcs, and orcs are already here, goblins and serpents, and mutant type races out here. That way we can have individuality into the game. Eighth topic is social spaces for classes, kind of like the inn, kind of like the enclave. But if you're searching for a cleric, why not go to the social space for the clerics and post there? That would be a lot easier to not only finding people for your group, but to get information on classes. Ask questions like, what's best in slot for your companions for a control wizard, or what's best in slot for ACDC cleric. Or I said ACDC cleric again. Fuck. ACDC, you know what I mean? Have different social spaces. That way you can go there, you can recruit people that you need, or you can go and ask questions if you're underdeveloped and don't know where to look and don't know where to get the information. To me, that would be a big step when helping the underdeveloped players in the game having their own social space for great weapon fighters and clerics and Scourge Warlocks, Trickster Rogues, Hunter Rangers, GFs, Pallies. Each one has their own designated space. They can go and learn more about the character, ask questions for those who are developed in the game, in-game, and can pick up designated spots because, again, it is very hard out here. If you don't have a close-knit group that you're running with every day, it's hard for you to get picked up. It's hard for you to find groups, and sometimes the groups that you find are inadequate. So I just wanted to throw it out there. Social space for your characters, for each class, that would be a big step in making the game where it should be. The last thing I want to talk about, and it's the 10th topic, is stronghold events. When I first started, the big thing was Dragonflight. Every day at 7 p.m. Eastern, you go to the stronghold and you attend one of the 4 groups and you did Dragonflight for an hour. If you failed Dragonflight and you messed up the rotation, we do another Dragonflight. That was not only to have the clan and guild together to do events, but it was also to improve it as well, because everyone was getting to top guild hall 20. It was, that's what was in game, getting your buildings so you can get the maximum bonus for your boons, and that's where it was at. And I think they should come up with something else like that, because not everyone's guild is rank 20. Some people are stubborn and they don't want to jump from a guild they've been in since the beginning to a better guild with better boons and better players. I understand that. Get them going with a different event. Maybe not so hard as Dragonflight, because some guilds can't participate in grinding Dragonflight like they should. Melting all the dragons at once and then switching strongholds and doing it in a different stronghold. Not everyone can do that. That was a little intense for some people. Maybe now is different with the increases of bondings and increasing of enchants and whatever else that they increased in mod 12b. But I would love to see the guilds get together, helping out smaller guilds, doing their events, helping them grow. Because at the end of the day, if people are leaving and people are quitting every day and we're not getting new players involved, the game is going to suffer and eventually tank. So that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. I know it's kind of dragged on and you're probably tired of hearing my damn voice, which it's understandable. It's understandable. I get it. But an announcement before we end this video is on my Twitch channel, we'll be doing a sub giveaway. We talked about it in the Scourge Warlock video that I made. We're going to talk about it in every video until we hit the goal. The goal was 15. We are at 1. Get it together, people. Get it together. We need your help out here. So the gifts are going to be $30 Xbox gift cards or PSN gift card. Whatever console you play on. It's going to help you get VIP or get AD, or if you don't want to use that and you want to buy Monster Hunter or put a down payment to Monster Hunter or whatever game you want to play, whatever you want to do with it, it's completely up to you. But we need your help out here. So if you want to support the cause, I'll leave the link to the Twitch down below. People who have Amazon Prime can sub for free. It's a free entry. You don't have to pay anything. Amazon Prime. Ask your mommy and daddy. Get their little password. Mommy and daddy, Amazon Prime. And subscribe. It's for free. That's it. Thanks for sticking with me. If I missed anything, if there's something you want to see that I didn't discuss, let me know in the comments below. If you want to do dungeons or you need help with anything, I'll put my gamer tag in the description below as well. So we have the cleric videos in the description, my Twitch in the description, and my gamer tag in the description. So that's it. This is your boy Frank, and I'm out of here. I'm going to go run Tomb of the Nine Gods because what the hell else is there to do? Peace.